Cincinnati Style is brought to you by Dugout Mugs. We got the hookup for you. Just go to dugoutmugs.online/craft for 10% off your entire order. That's it. No need to use a code. Just use that link, and the 10% off will be added directly onto your order. That's dugoutmugs.online/craft. Craft Brewed Sports Cincinnati Style is also brought to you by More Labs. Drink one bottle of morning recovery while you're partying and bounce back quickly the next morning, guaranteed. Go to morelabs.com and use the code SPORTS at checkout for 20% off your non-subscription purchase. Thank you for tuning in. This is Craft Brewed Sports Cincinnati Style. That's Mookie.
What up?
I'm Mike. Joe back behind the computer. Joe, how you feeling today, man?
What it do, baby?
Great to have you back, man. This is Craft Brewed Sports Cincinnati Style, the 20th Craft Brewed Sports Cincinnati Style episode. Number 20. We made it 20 whole episodes talking about Cincinnati sports, and I haven't lost my mind yet. That's amazing.
That really is an accomplishment.
I got really excited a few times, but I haven't completely gone off and MF'd everybody in the Cincinnati sports world.
Which is basically the definition of being a Cincy sports fan.
It might happen tonight because we were talking FC Cincinnati and some shenanigans that they've had going on.
I might beat you to that one, but yeah, we'll see. It'll be a race to the finish. The finish line no one cares about.
We've also got some talk on Joe Burrow and the advice he's been getting. Question mark? Yes, a lot of upspeak on that one because this whole thing is a mess, man. I don't know what to make of all of this.
Who does Cat think he is?
We're going to talk some bracketology as we get into March. We're getting close to March Madness. Xavier and UC both bubble-ish.
Yeah, that's what
bubbly?
It seems like, yeah.
Kind of bubbly.
Every time they get momentum, one of those squads, something happens.
We're going to dig into those, both of those teams. And then, if there's time, Mookie is going to do that hockey.
Gonna do that hockey, though. It's a big weekend for them. They played, was it 4 games this weekend or something crazy?
I have no idea.
Those poor guys. They got to be hurting. But the good news is Holy Grail gives them free booze and food after every game, so I guess it's worth it.
Whoa. Put a pin in that one because that needs a discussion later on.
Talking about hockey.
Thank you for tuning in to Craft Brewed Sports Cincinnati Style. Be sure to subscribe, rate, and review. Hit the bell down below here on YouTube. Make sure that you are alerted every time we upload a new video. I've started uploading all of our videos from the regular show as well. And just to forewarn everybody, this will be our last Craft Brewed Sports Cincinnati Style for a while. Joe is going to be going on lacrosse break as he goes to coach. And as a two-man crew, it makes it a lot harder to do this show. So we will be taking a brief hiatus. We'll come back and do some Cincinnati Styles whenever there's something big going on. You know, opening day, the draft, March Madness, maybe Selection Sunday. We might do a special show. We'll figure some stuff out. But this will be our last weekly Craft Brewed Sports Cincinnati Style. So be sure to subscribe, rate, and review wherever you listen to your podcasts.
So basically, we won't be touching any of this until March is end. Once March is over, it's all done. Selection Sunday is the last thing that we have to talk about.
Because then the draft. We'll do a draft special.
Yeah, see how the Bengals screw things up.
Also, opening day at the end of March. So we'll do some
people will definitely tune in for that.
Look, I don't even care if you guys aren't here. I'll do it myself. I don't care.
I don't doubt that at all.
I'm gonna be super pumped about it. It's just gonna
Mike will
be
be live tweeting his entire day.
It's gonna be me drunk in a Reds uniform opening day.
Drink responsibly.
All right.
Thank you, Mike Tyson.
Let's talk Bengals to kick off the show here. All right, so Joe Burrow is getting all of the advice from everybody everywhere. Depending on who you're talking to, it's either really great news for the Bengals, if he was talking to Chad Ochocinco, or it's really bad news for the Bengals if he was talking to former first-round draft pick Steve Bartkowski. Because there are, the hot take is Joe Burrow needs to pull an Eli Manning if the Bengals select him.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine, but who is he going to pull an Eli Manning to? Because here's the thing.
Question.
And again, when Eli did it, it was with San Diego that eventually traded him New York, right?
Right.
And I just want to go out on record and say San Diego's leadership and ownership and front office is competent. The Bengals are not. So he can do this, and he can try to flex and like get leverage, but like it's still up to the Bengals to strike a deal with someone to trade him somewhere.
Well, and that's the crazy thing.
So
there are a lot of places who need a quarterback. There are a lot of teams that are looking. San Diego being one of them after departing from Phillip Rivers. Like they've moved on from the Rivers regime. You also have Indianapolis could be a landing spot for somebody who needs a franchise quarterback. Look, the bottom line is Joe Burrow. If we're looking at this with people telling him he needs to pull an Eli, this is a dude that clearly is a franchise quarterback, right? Is it safe to say that?
I think so. I think the guy has quality.
I have such a hard time believing it.
Again,
man.
the thing is, though, is like if he tries to flex his leverage or whatever he wants to call it, what's going to end up happening is they're going to trade him to Kansas City for like a third string guard. Because Cincinnati will screw it up, and Kansas City go, ha, 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 great, and then they'll flip and trade him to some trash team like Tampa Bay, and he'll be in no better spot.
Whoa. Tampa Bay doesn't need a quarterback. Jameis
got LASIK.
It
Life
is
over.
Good. Yes,
yeah.
Tampa is set, baby.
Which is still so dumb to me, because it's like either you get LASIK and it is whatever gets better, or I mean, I don't know. If all he needed was LASIK, why did it take this damn long for him to do it?
Also, how terrible were your contacts? Like you
Right.
needed like the LASIK was what did it. The contacts were blurry or itchy or something. I don't know.
Notice how he hasn't commented on 1-800-contacts.com lately? I just coincidence maybe. I don't know. I think Joe Burrow is going to be a great quarterback though in the NFL. I think his quality. I think he's going to come in, and I think he can truly be a franchise quarterback from day one, assuming that wherever he goes has an O-line that at least doesn't let him get murdered and break his spleen.
Okay, so that's the question. Cincinnati does not have that O-line. I mean, you do get Billy Price back. You get some help on the line next year. But is Cincinnati a team? Like I look back at Cleveland, which by the way, how come the Bengals are getting all this hate for being a trash franchise and like, oh, Joe Burrow should pull an Eli? The Browns never heard people say it. Like the Browns they went. Because I think 1-15 and 0-16, and people were still like, no, go Baker. You're the guy.
Because the problem is the Browns are actually trying. The Browns are trying.
Well,
Sorry,
I mean,
Joe. The Browns are trying, and this is what they end up with. The Bengals actively do not try to succeed or win, other than what they have to as the minimum to keep money in Mike Brown's pocket.
Is it more that Burrow is that good of a quarterback? Like maybe that's it. That Burrow is that good of a quarterback that we haven't seen a talent like this. So nobody's had. It's like, nah, go to the Browns and let your career die. Who cares? Like whatever, dude. It don't matter, man. Go do it. Go on, Brady Quinn. Go do your thing. Have fun. Go on, Baker Mayfield. Go on, whoever else they drafted.
Well, I was gonna say the more you say it, the more it's like, yeah, that makes sense. Because let's be honest, nobody liked Baker.
Right.
Nobody really thought it was gonna succeed.
Yeah. Everybody was like, yeah, it's whatever.
We all kind of knew what Brady Quinn was.
I had hopes. that Brady Quinn was going to be the savior.
I did too. Then he didn't win any big games for us.
He almost beat USC.
He almost beat USC, but then he didn't.
He did his part. The defense let them down in that one.
No, if he did his part, it doesn't come down to that.
That's a good point. All right. Anyways, let's not. This isn't the Brady Quinn podcast, although we could do a whole podcast on Brady Quinn.
And our numbers would be just as low.
Yeah, you're wrong.
That Brady Quinn Jeff Samardzija connection though.
That shit was on point.
Oh man.
But you know what's really funny about that? What are they both doing right now? Not playing football.
Well, that's because Jeff Smart was like, you know what? I'm gonna go to the sport that's gonna provide me a long career.
Which makes me wonder why he wasn't throwing the football then.
Because he didn't have to. You have Brady Quinn.
Yeah.
Also, Brady Quinn is, that's your prototypical American
now,
quarterback.
Remind me, Brady Quinn's sister's the one that married, what's his name? The ugliest
AJ.
linebacker ever.
Yep, AJ Hawk from Ohio State.
Dude, she did not look good either. So I'm just glad they found each other.
Ocho Cinco.
Ocho Cinco tweeted out. First of all, big ups to Ocho Cinco because he paid somebody's rent recently. Like somebody tweeted out to him and they were like, "Hey, this is a long shot, but I need to pay my rent. This is my last day. If I don't pay it today, I'm getting evicted. Can you help me out?" And he was like, "Send me a picture of the eviction notice." And they did. They were like, "Wow, I didn't think you'd respond. Here it is." He was like, "DM me the details," and he took care of it. He like paid somebody's rent for them to keep them from being evicted. Like super awesome of him to do that. And then on top of that, he's also talking about how he wants to he's going to go to dinner with Joe Burrow, and he's telling him, you will be happy in Cincinnati because this city is, quote, effing awesome.
You know, if Ocho Cinco actually cared about this city, he would have done that person a solid and helped him get a gig as a stripper in Chicago for the NBA All-Star game. You know what I mean? Like, you can him a fish, or you can, give him a fishing pole or whatever. But, I mean, good for Chad. That's quality. But at the same time, and it was a woman, too. I just said that just because, I mean, I just
was cracking jokes.
I was just riffing, cracking jokes. But, like, damn it. Man, people, go get a job.
Okay.
Damn.
Let me ask you this question, though. Ocho Cinco says that Cincinnati is a great place. They would support Joe Burrow. Do you think the Bengals fans would support Joe Burrow, or do you think there's a clock that gets put on him? Because I look at the support for Andy Dalton, and Andy Dalton had some great support in this city, but then this season people are calling for Finley when it's like, dude, it's not Dalton's fault.
It's definitely not. I think part of it, though, is so Dalton was not a first-round pick, right? I'm pretty sure he was third round or something, a little bit later.
Yeah.
So he wasn't billed to be the same thing that Joe Burrow was. Also,
that just means there's more pressure on Burrow.
There is, but at the same time, like the fan base is going to love him, and I would expect that most likely what's going to happen is the fan base is going to continue to turn on the leadership of the Bengals, which still sucks, as opposed to turning on the players. And Dalton's been here for a while. Yeah, 2011 draft, so Dalton's been around. So I think the way that the people turned on him was more of just like, man, we're tired. Like, clearly this ain't working. It's time to move on and get something new.
If you can't look at the beginning part of this past season and be like, look, this isn't Andy's fault. This is the fact that there's no offensive line. He has no time to throw the ball, and you can't cut him some slack. What kind of slack are you going to cut the guy who is perceived to be the next coming of Jesus at quarterback?
I mean,
you know what I mean? Like, they're going to expect fans in this city, if they draft Joe Burrow and he doesn't pull an Eli Manning, the expectations are going to be, you are the guy that turns around this franchise. Like, you start... We were terrible last year. We expect you to be putting us in the playoff hunt. Like, that's going to be the expectation.
And that's fair. And I think what's going to happen if things don't go well, I do honestly expect Joe Burrow to come out and be like, yes, this coaching staff sucks. Like, Big Dick Joe is not going to take things lying down.
Zach Taylor, what do you think about Joe Burrow? And would you, I mean, like, do you think Joe Burrow should be the guy? Like, how good is Joe Burrow, Zach Taylor?
Good. Feel real good.
All right. Well, there you go. That's
exactly. That's all you need to know.
So he'll be okay with it. Zach Taylor, how would you feel if Joe Burrow threw you under the bus after a game?
Good. Feel real good.
All right. Well, I mean, I stand corrected. That's my bad. I apologize for that.
The coaching staff's got his back. They understand it.
How do I feel? I can't even describe it.
See?
Good. Feel real good.
It's my favorite soundbite that I've ever heard. It's so amazing.
Wait, one more time. Zach Taylor, how do you feel about setting a time limit on baseball games?
Good. Feel real good.
Yeah.
Fixing baseball. Again, if things go south, it's not going to be Joe Burrow's fault. It really isn't. I
no,
believe
it's not.
that.
But that's my fear.
And I don't think people are going to turn on him the same way. I really don't. I mean, why? Like,
because the expectations are so high. I mean, we're talking about this guy.
No, they're not. They're not because it's still the Bengals.
The expectations of the team are not high. The expectations of Burrow are high. So if this dude comes out and there's any hint of him not being the guy, the next Tom Brady, fans are going to be like, Mike Brown blew it. This whole draft, they should have traded the first round pick.
Right. Mike Brown blew it right there. They're blaming Mike Brown first and foremost.
They're giving up on Burrow. They're giving up on him at that point.
They're not going to give up on Burrow. I mean, come on. The guy's I believe he's going to show up, and he's going to show that he knows what the hell he's doing. The kid can play. I
don't doubt that.
The problem's going to be the rest of the team is still going to be garbage. Now, I would also hope that they're going to, again, they've got like 80 draft picks this draft, right? So if they hit on half of them, that's 40 guys. That's basically a whole football team.
I don't trust Mike Brown to hit on half the draft picks. Let's talk Reds baseball, something I'm excited about.
Woo-hoo. I got a little pitchy.
Spring training starting
Marty.
up this week. First spring training game is Saturday against the Indians in Goodyear, Arizona. There are stories that have come out where reputable publications, are picking the Reds to win the NL Central.
Show your work.
Okay, I believe it was...
when you say reputable, I want to make sure that these articles weren't they
Pagoda?
didn't happen to somewhat be published by Mike Berlon somewhere.
it was
Like
at
we
the
got to go
Crawford
deep in the.
Sports
Yeah, I was gonna
blog.
say like we got to go dig into this because I would not be shocked if you could trace back that pen name to being.
What was it? I think
Mr.
it was Pagoda. Is that the source that like predicts all kinds of crazy baseball stats? But they're
Pagoda sounds like a delicious Mexican street food restaurant. Is that just me?
you get Pagoda's got some sweet marks, man.
Dude,
got,
have you tried their pico? Holy shit.
You got jumbo marks at Pagoda? Oh my goodness.
Oh, man, jumbo marks can be trouble, but you know what helps with jumbo marks? That morning recovery from morelabs.com.
It does. Absolutely.
Yeah, promo code sports. 20% off some stuff.
did it not play,
Feel
Joe?
real good.
See, Zach Taylor knows what's up. How much do you think he would drink after Bengals games?
Zach Taylor?
Yeah.
Probably not a lot. He's got a lot of kids, so not much. As a dad of two, I know what it's like. Where it's like I just can't drink.
But see, I feel like kids are multipliers.
It was PECOTA, by the way, which is an acronym for Player Empirical Comparison and Optimization Test Logarithm.
So nothing to do with Mexican street food.
It's a sabermetric
That's
system
disappointing.
for forecasting Major League Baseball player performance.
See, this is
and-
baseball's problem. It's not that it has a slow pace of play. It's not that.
No,
it's
that's a problem.
It's a problem. No, the problem is that it's the perfect collision of OWGs and a bunch of nerds.
Well, it is the nerdiest sport.
It is the
for
nerdiest
sure.
sport.
But they are predicting that the Reds win the division. There were some MLB articles that came out that had the Reds winning the division. I understand. Like, here's where I'm struggling as a Reds fan. Last year at this time, I was as amped as I am right now because they got out from the Homer Bailey contract. You got Puig and Kemp coming into camp, and it's like, man, we got some names on this squad. This lineup, top to bottom, looks legit. And all the conversations were the Reds are they're gonna be interesting at least. There's something there. They may not be good, but they're not gonna be bad. And then they were really
I was gonna say, and then how'd March
they
go?
were so bad. They started off the season like 110, I think. I think they
I was gonna say
lost
1 in
9 straight
15.
games.
It was something absurd. It was
It
double
was
digit losses at some point early.
Terrible. The beginning of the season was terrible. But like, that's
But honestly,
where I'm
though,
struggling.
honestly, as a friend, I actually really liked it because I was like, great, Mike's dreams are dashed already,
Yeah, thanks, man.
and he gets to move on with his life as opposed to hanging on until July.
As opposed to being like, come on, it's All-Star break. We got a shot.
We're only 10 games back, guys. We can do it. Let's make a charge. We rip off 7 straight. It'll be fine.
Okay, the difference being last year the conversation around the Reds was they're a team. They made moves. Don't know if they're going to pan out, but they made moves. This year the conversation is this rotation is solid. The bullpen continues to be solid. The lineup looks good. Provided, and there's where the asterisk is, provided everybody performs like they're supposed to. Suarez coming off an injury. We don't know if he's going to have the same season he did last year. It's good to see him like in skill, like he's training, he's on field. It's not like he's sitting out during spring training right now. So that's good to see.
Dude, Joey Votto's 36.
Joey Votto's old, man, and he's got that weird warm-up swing, and I don't know what to do with him. He fell off last year, but he's saying all the right things this year.
I would love to see Joey Votto have some sort of clause in his contract that, like, if he doesn't perform to this level, all of his salary gets translated in Canadian dollars. Like, you want to talk about motivating someone? Like, that would get his act together real fast.
What's the current exchange rate? 76 cents?
Something like
76 cents
that.
to $1.
Yeah.
Something.
Like, really cut that down. Yeah, so flip that, Joe. So it'd be about 70-something cents, yeah. And honestly, the Reds would still be mad about how much they're paying him. I still can't believe that they paid him what they did back in the day.
He would like that. If it was $1 to a Canadian, it would be
That's
$1
true.
to
He's getting paid
1.32 Canadian.
But you can
dollars.
only spend that in Canada.
He'll be fine.
Oh, no, he's already fine. Like, I'm pretty sure he bought a province. I don't disagree with you. It's just it's baseball's one of those sports where, like, the teams on paper, when you get to live action, it all can be completely different year after year, especially. So I know we got to see how it kind of plays out. The other thing is too is like, what are the other teams in the division doing?
Well, that's part of the reason why the Reds are picked, because the Cardinals got worse, losing Ozuna in free agency.
Also, screw the Cardinals.
Agreed. The Cubs have been this weird mess of a team that can't quite, like, they should be the best team in the division, but they never are. They just keep faltering.
Did you see they're gonna bat Chris Bryant in the leadoff spot?
That's a weird choice.
Right?
That's a very weird choice.
I don't quite get it, but
Okay.
Oh, well.
Well, whatever. Cubs gonna Cub. And then
Cubs
the
gonna
Brewers, get worse because Moose comes to Cincinnati. So where the Reds get better in the infield, the Brewers lose a bat and lose a position player. So, addition by subtraction there.
So as spring training is starting, you've got, what is the biggest thing you're looking at? Pitchers, infield, or outfield? What is the biggest thing that you're trying to work to see what they fit?
the length of Rosie's skirt.
It's okay, so I'll give the real answer here. I think
Whoa, that was real for me.
they're always going to be looking at pitchers, but pitchers is one of those weird things where it's like the dude's just working on his curveball, so he's going to get shelled because all he's throwing is curveballs. So you can't really judge it based on spring training performance. I'd be interested to see how the outfield shapes out, like, because that's where you've got some question marks. I know you've got Shogo is like going to be the center fielder. You've got Winker that's going to be in there, but like. The question then becomes, how do you kind of fit the rest of the pieces? Who's going to be the platoon guys? Where does everything go? The infield is pretty much set,
Yeah,
right?
you've got Castellanos and Senzel and Aquafina and Phillip Irvin and
Right. So, yeah, you start to try to figure out who's going to get sent down to AAA to start the season there, who's going to be the platoon guy. The infield, you know you have Votto at first. You know you have Moose at second. You know you have Suarez at third. Galvis, I guess, is going to be your shortstop. That's the only kind of weak spot in the infield. So the outfield is probably the question mark that you need to start to figure out who's – and honestly, that comes down to your bats. Who's got the better bat? Like, I hope when Bell breaks spring training, it just comes down to these guys – the outfield position, it's like,
What
is it
somewhat
defensively?
What is it with Cincinnati and always having too many outfielders? I feel like this has been a theme with this squad for like the last 3-4 years.
You know, I hadn't really thought about that, but yeah, they do tend to have a surplus.
Yeah,
in
it's
the
always like we've got
outfield.
4 dudes. We're going to have to only start 3 unless, what if we get softball rules, guys? Because it's a small park.
well, then they had that thing where like the guy really didn't hit very well, but he could steal and was very fast. That guy, that specialty player,
That dude that played
that
defense.
they liked to play a lot.
He could
but
bunt
didn't
every
help
once
that
in a while,
much.
too, yeah.
him.
The position player that batted after the pitcher. That should tell
Yeah, that
you
guy.
That should tell you everything you need to know about whether or not Billy Hamilton should have been on the squad.
But see, like that's the thing that kills me is
He
that
batted ninth in the NL. He was a position player that batted ninth in the NL. What the hell are we doing?
Hey. If it wasn't Dusty Baker and it was like what was the dude that used to be in St. Louis forever?
Tony
The manager.
La Russa?
Tony La Russa?
It was Tony La Russa doing it and not Dusty Baker. We're like, oh my God, he's playing chess while we were playing checkers. But no, because it was Dusty Baker and the Reds. They couldn't catch a break about being strategic.
I don't think did Baker ever do that? I think that was Price. I think it was Price that was.
It was the Rays and the Cubs guy, Maddox.
Joe Madden.
Joe
did
Madden.
kinda
Joe
start
Madden.
that
He
year.
was the guy
see?
that started it.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
man. Joe Madden.
So
The Reds win the division, right? The
Yeah.
Reds are NL Central champs.
3
We can
games.
It's
crown it?
hopeful. It's hopeful. As long as you've got that statue at first that doesn't have to move much and just can wiggle around a bit at the plate.
That's what first base is.
Zach
is it not?
Taylor, I know you're a football coach and you're not really that, involved in baseball, but it is the off season. You probably watch a lot of it. How do you think the Reds are going to do this year?
Drink responsibly.
Fair enough.
That's sage advice right
Let's talk some FC Cincinnati, which we didn't even do a sound cue for them. They don't deserve one.
there. This piece of shit franchise, let me tell you.
All right, give people the news. What happened this week?
So Cincinnati's coach, their coach resigned this week after it was reported and an investigation was started that he used a racial slur towards some of the players in practice. And I'm fed up with this goddamn organization bringing crap to this city.
So let me back you up there real quick.
Jeff Burning, you are
Let me back you up real quick because the report was that Jans used this slur. He said he was singing along to a rap song, but then there was this investigation.
Bullshit. He's Dutch. He ain't singing no rap song.
I mean, we all know that there's certain parts that when you're singing along to a rap song, you just stop singing and let the song go on. We on the show totally agree with that. But the point being, the investigation then revealed that there was like a history of this type of thing happening, like that, and that's when Jans resigned. I'm refreshed to hear you come in with that take, because the take I've seen on Twitter is a lot of free Ron Jans. Like, what? He didn't do anything wrong.
Who said this? Who said this? Give me names, because I'm going to go set these people straight. This is absolute garbage, man.
Search the hashtag.
You got to be kidding me. Why are we standing up for a piece of shit coach that hasn't done anything for this city? He came in late, doesn't know what the hell he's doing, still trying to run a 4-3-3 with absolute garbage talent on the field. I mean, you've got to be joking me. Dude, this is embarrassing for this. This is embarrassing for the city. On top of all the other stuff that's going on with their stadium relocation, the move to MLS, to hire someone with this kind of poor-ass judgment doesn't necessarily speak to just this coach's problems, but the organization as a whole. Because the problem with this is the general manager and this coach had a relationship going back for a while. Back into Holland, they've worked together in several squads before. And you want to know what? Neither one of those assholes lasted more than 2 years at their previous organizations. I wonder fucking why. Sorry, I don't. They may have crossed the flag, but seriously, this deserves it, because this is inexcusable. And all this does is speak to the grander mindset of this organization, that Jeff Berding doesn't know what the hell he's doing, waiting this long to bring in someone that knows soccer, knows strategy, knows how to build a club, and then on top of that, bring in two garbage individuals that are going to embarrass our city like this. Free Hans? How about free our city from this shit franchise? And then I've stood by this team through a lot of stuff. I've defended the stadium move. I think it's positive. I think they can bring quality to the city. They can put us on the map. Having another pro franchise in this city does not hurt, but it does when it's this kind of trash. Dude, I mean, get the hell out of here with this.
The team is like a laughingstock at this point. This is they've been in the MLS for such a short time. Like, this is they're on their fourth coach since coming to the MLS,
and they've passed on higher quality hires that they could have gone after. Caleb Porter could have come to this team if Linder would open his checkbook. He didn't do that because stupid Jeff Berding didn't pursue it, because he was down in Buskin trying to clean out that front dairy pastry tray. Like, it's inexcusable. It's absolute nonsense. At this point, you cannot convince me that this club is anything more than a revenue stream for some OWGs.
Well, I mean, I think that was clear from the beginning. So I guess
it's clear.
The question becomes, clear, because you're a very big FC Cincinnati
I was drinking the Kool-Aid forever.
You were a season ticket holder. How much goodwill does this team have left? Because I feel like at this point, between all of the problems with relocating the residents in the West End and now this whole thing, it's like, has the team exhausted their
jacking
goodwill?
Up ticket prices, removing any seats from field level that weren't club seats that you would have to pay a licensing fee and a group rate for the entire season. They got nothing left.
I don't mean to interrupt the Cincinnati, but we're going to talk some Cleveland here real quick. So remember, you saw Greg Robinson, got found with some weed, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Oh, he just found weed? How did he do that?
And he was trying to carry it over. It was just released that it was 157 pounds.
Wow, that's a lot of weed. That's a lot of weed.
In several large duffel bags.
That's a lot
crossing into El Paso.
Like, that's not...
157 pounds.
That's not personal use territory. So that's like I'm distributing. I'm a kingpin.
I would say like that, or it's like I'm building a fort with all these bricks. Where was it? Was he driving or flying?
Hang on.
He was driving?
Wait,
he was driving from Mexico into El Paso, or?
Yep.
Bro.
Like in the rear cargo area.
I've been going to the gym. I'm down to 163 pounds. That dude had almost as much weed as I weigh.
Oh my God, that's a Mike joint.
Yeah. He had a me level amount of weed.
What do you do with that much weed?
Sell it. You are not stocking up 157 pounds of weed to keep in your closet and like, I'll roll these joints as I go. No, you are selling that.
You mean you wouldn't like Lincoln log with that thing?
Why does an NFL player need to sell weed? Bro,
concussions.
It's legal in the States. Like, you don't have to sell it anymore.
Well, it is technically still cheaper to get on the black market.
Go to Michigan and open it, like finance a dispensary. Like you can sell weed.
Or, I don't
legally.
know, maybe bring it in through Canada where they don't check as closely.
Oh, man. Oh, hey, you got any weed in there? Nope, don't. Okay.
No, but I do got some Molsons for you
Say
boys.
bye.
Have a good evening. Oh, and here's some Timmy H for you, too.
Dude, thank you for the that was great, Joe. That was a great drop in.
Is that like the same amount of weed they have on Super Troopers when they bust them? Like volume, physical size. Is that what we're talking?
Think about this. That's like if you've got these duffel bags in your car, that's another person in your car worth of weed.
Do you think it pays for gas?
No.
Drink responsibly.
Could have gone into business
He
with
could
Mike
have
Tyson.
just hung out with Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson owns a weed. What are we doing? Let's talk some Xavier basketball.
Yeah, screw FC.
Boom! I love it. I do love it. Ooh,
That's
ooh,
that hotness, though.
That's good. That's good. All right. Since we were last on the air, Xavier has they looked good and then they looked bad. They got beat by Butler pretty handily. They came back to make it look like it was a better game than what it actually was, but really Butler pulled down their pants and spanked them in front of everybody in Indianapolis.
See, when you said that, I thought you meant Butler pulled down their pants. Like they were like,
no,
kiss
Butler
it. But
pulled down Xavier's pants
Yeah.
and spanked him. But then Xavier goes to Madison Square Gardens. They steal one from St. John's because they should have lost that game, but they didn't.
Yeah.
It's a W. So I was looking at bracketology to figure out where Xavier is. So let's go with CBS Sports first, which was updated as of yesterday.
The lesser known CBS.
Yeah, the
those clowns on Channel 12.
right. So their bracketology was updated yesterday. As we're recording this, that would have been Tuesday. So they had them at what was
You
this?
said 8 seed.
8 seed.
Or no,
playing,
I think
yes,
was
it was
it
an
8? Yeah,
8
8
seed
seed.
playing St. Mary's, and then they would play Baylor if they made it to the second round, which is a tough
Baylor.
1 seed to play.
Barely even know her.
ESPN's bracketology had them at a 10 seed playing Texas Tech. That was updated today as we're recording this. And then SB Nation had them at an 8 seed playing Texas Tech with San Diego State in the second round. Out of those three options, which one would you rather Xavier be?
I literally don't care because I just want us to make the tournament.
I want that last one. I want that last option because I think
to go after
Xavier-
San Diego
yeah,
State.
I want to be the team that beats San Diego State.
I mean, dude, there's nothing that this team has showed me all year that tells me they can upset someone of quality. They can't shoot free throws reliably. How
really
many
can't.
many
Good
times
Lord.
they turned the ball over in that game against St. John's?
I want to say
Was
it was
it
22.
22?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
definitely over 20
Yeah,
turnovers.
it was
and
22
still-
turnovers
How
in a
many
40-minute
kills
basketball
though?
game.
How many kills?
No one knows because they don't track that.
It had to be a bunch because they won. 95% of the time when you have over 10 kills, which is 3 possessions in a row where it stopped, then you win the game 95% of the time. So stats, right?
They should put Black Panther on, or no, Sex Panther. I always screw that up. They should put Sex Panther on.
I was going to be like, why they
because
just gonna watch
80%
it?
of the time it works all the time. So if they put on Sex Panther and they get more than 10 kills, they're going to win the basketball game.
You mentioned something earlier today. You had texted me something that you feel like the Musketeers should do at this point.
Yes. We should drive up to Cleveland there and just say hi to John B. See what you doing, how you
Hey,
be.
John.
Do you need help moving? Do you need I know you're
you got
down right
going on,
now.
boo? What you
Can I get you an
doing?
ice cream sandwich? You know, just see what's up.
Man, come down to Cincinnati, hang out.
He did officially resign.
He did.
Yeah.
Although I
what
did
you-
hear
What you doing, man? What
I
you
did hear
doing?
he's technically still on payroll.
He is moving into another role with the Cavs, but it has not yet been defined.
So that means you can scoop them up.
Yeah, all that is code for we're trying to work out the money. So yeah, honestly
So,
though,
hey-
I do
hey,
think
B.
it's worth exploring.
Hey,
like,
B, what you got?
hey B, how you be?
What you want to do? You want to come back to
What
college?
it is
You
though?
want to come back to college? Come on, come back to college.
Yeah.
Do you think Xavier would ever be gutsy enough to make a move like that? Because I don't think they would be. This is the same school who has picked the top assistant coach as the successor, every year since my freshman year at
So-
Xavier. Like it's been since 2003. They've just been like, who's the next guy up? Yeah, let's just hire him.
But that worked, right? Like
Well,
up until now, it's worked pretty well.
I said that we were
right.
due to strike out.
And so the other part of it too is, and again, I guess it's technically only been like a year and a half Trevitt's been at the helm, but like I haven't heard of who the next guy is after him.
I don't know. Yeah.
So I don't think that they have that go-to whatever. So what I'm predicting, tinfoil hat, alien, whatever speak, is they're gonna go through like quadruple mediary channels to like really cover their tracks, but they're gonna get feelers out. They're
Yeah.
gonna feelers out. They're gonna figure out what's gonna cost them because you owe it to the program to check. Because Beeline's the kind of guy that could turn us into the next Duke, right? I could see him being someone like Coach K and having that influence on a program.
At least the next Villanova. Like not necessarily a Duke. Like let's
Nah, man, Villanova.
let's
all Villanova
rein in-
is Jay Wright's haircut.
understandable. But Jay Wright is that guy that won't leave Villanova. He's going to be at Villanova forever. He turned Villanova into a program that is perennial power.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's what Xavier needs. Like Xavier needs that guy. They need their Jay Wright.
They need that guy though.
They do need that guy. I don't think still.
So right now, X is one of the last 4 to not play in the play-in day, whatever week, day 0 of the
Yeah,
tournament.
yeah, up in
That
Dayton.
Wednesday.
Is it bad that I want him to be in the last 4 in so we can go watch him play in Dayton?
I don't want them to be in the last 4 in because Dayton is going to end up with the 2 seed, and to have to go to Dayton to watch Xavier play for the chance to get in while Dayton has a 2 seed is going to piss me off.
Yeah.
I don't think it's in Dayton.
Yeah,
The
wait,
first
the
four?
first 4? First 4 is always in Dayton.
It's looking like right now it's looking like Omaha.
No, that's
Oh,
the
no. Yeah,
those are
are
that's
the-
those 2 teams.
No, they still play in
after
Dayton
they
or
play.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
first 4 is going to be. In
but
Dayton.
wouldn't they
Just
also
Google
be
first
in
4.
like the same? If they play the next day, you're telling me
Yeah,
if
they
they're supposed
played-
to play in Spokane the next day, that they're going to be in Dayton the day before?
2 days before, but yeah. So if you play if your second whatever, if your round of 64 game is on Thursday, you play in Dayton on Tuesday, then fly to Spokane or whatever the hell. So there's a 2-day. You have a 2-day window. So
Yeah,
you play,
first
you have a
4
day off, and then you play
First
next one.
4
So it's still in
is
Dayton.
St.
Yeah.
Patty's Day and the day after in Dayton.
Holy shit! St. Patty's Day in Dayton for a first 4 game.
All right, I can't handle it. It can't happen. It cannot happen
Dude,
because
that'd be so much fun.
right. But I would be so hungover at work the next day, not with a morning recovery. Because
You
what I would do is I
dummy.
would take a morning recovery
And
I would
call
be
off work.
I would be totally fine the next morning, and I'd be able to go to work. I wouldn't even have to call off. I would use the code sports at morelives.com, and I would be totally fine.
Drink responsibly.
And even if for some reason you needed some hydration the next day too, they've got something for that, right?
Aqua, yes, you can
Yeah.
get Aqua. Also, if you're really struggling, you need to focus on that meeting because
Yeah.
you're just zoning out because you're like, man, Xavier just
I
made it in the
just
tournament.
don't
watched
know.
it.
I can't.
You can
think
get
about
Liquid
this.
Focus. That's also available. Using the code SPORTS, you can get 20% off that purchase as well.
Drink responsibly.
All right, let's talk some Bearcats basketball.
Wait, real quick though, is that stuff just crushed up Adderall and water?
Probably.
Right on, man. Okay,
it works.
cool. I don't need a script for it. So that's all I care about.
Oh, you going hockey song? Joe's going. There we go. Okay, there we go. UC
They won
has-
big tonight.
They have a big win against.
Psych!
They have a big win against Memphis, and then follow it up with not so good performance tonight in double overtime.
Double overtime loss to UCF.
That's
What's
tough.
his name? Scott got 22 points, 21 boards too, and they still lost.
That's really tough.
Is that at home? It was at home. Oh my God, Jaron Cumberland. What is going on with him? I mean, that dude is.
Do you think
just,
there's any residual effects between Cumberland?
I think
and,
they've gotten over it by now because there was that whole thing of whether he was going to travel and he really
Right.
didn't. So basically, what they've been doing is when Jaron Cumberland's in the game, they run old school Jaron Cumberland last UC head coach ball. When he's not in the
Yeah.
game, then they start running new coach ball, and he's like, "Oh, I can run my offense." And they've just pretty much come to the realization that like we don't work together. When you're on the floor, you do your thing, and we run your ball. When you're off the floor, we run my thing.
Man, what a terrible way to run a program. Like that's a really. I mean, I guess you can credit him for being like, well, you're playing to the strengths and whatever. But man, that's such a terrible way to run your team.
sucks to be Jaron Cumberland, really. I mean, because he's a senior. He's been in the program for 4 years. Watch this, though. He had a shot. Oh, that's not even close. So he hit a half-court three to what
At
would
the
have
buzzer that would have
at
won
the buzzer would have won it.
But it was
90 to
way
89.
late.
But it was
Oh,
stupid
man.
late. Oh, that's like a half second late.
All right, so before
But you know
this
what though?
game,
Sorry, but I love it. I love it. I love to see U fans cry. UC
well,
fans.
Before this game,
Says the guy with the Bearcats. hat
right,
on.
right, yeah.
I'm okay with it, though.
The dude who has season tickets to UC football.
Not anymore.
All right,
I didn't get him this year because I was like, Luke, I trust you, but I'm not paying for that trash football.
let's talk UC bracketology real quick here. So every site before tonight, this is before the loss tonight, so things may change. But every site, CBS Sports, ESPN, SB Nation, they all had UC sitting at an 11 seed. Some of them had them in that first four in, playing in Dayton. Some of them had them just a firm 11 seed already in the tournament. But CBS Sports had them as a first four playing Arkansas for that 11 seed. ESPN had them at an 11 seed playing BYU, and SB Nation had them at an 11 seed playing Arizona.
See,
What do you do as a Xavier fan watching UC play Sean Miller's Arizona? Like, at that point, what do you root for? Because that's god awful, right?
Coronavirus? Because only 15% of people die, but like it's not a fun time for like the couple of weeks while you're going through it. No, but really though, I hate Sean Miller. That guy, he's the friggin' worst, man.
I think that would. I mean, I'm not a UC hater. I don't like.
I'm really not
I don't
either.
follow UC. But like, I don't hate. I hate Dayton. I hate Dayton basketball. I really do.
Oh, God,
so like,
such a passion too, man. Like they're just
UC is not. I'm like, all right. I want to win the crosstown shootout. Outside
You
of
mean
that,
number 2 ranked Dayton in the bracketologies right now? They got
two
the 2
seed.
seed.
Yeah, 2 seed Dayton. Yeah. I saw an article this week that was like, why can't Dayton?
also.
win the
I love
national
how
title?
they got UD right now paired up against Bowling Green in the first round. Like, you
So
want to
bad.
talk about schools where the girls weren't smart enough to go somewhere better, but they're still trying to get that MRS degree. Right there. There's that matchup.
Dude, I feel like the drink responsibly drop should have been.
Drink responsibly.
It should have been hit way more often.
It's that damn long hots that's getting me right now. It's creeping. I can't feel the heat anymore, but I can feel the lasting
After the
effects.
loss tonight, do you think UC now moves to the bubble?
I think they're probably first four in now because that 11 seed slot is usually where they have the playing games. I think
It's always like a
Historically,
6 and 11. I think
they got them as 16s and 16 and 12s. Yeah,
12s.
yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
I think that probably bumps them into that group. The problem for UC is the AAC is just it's not a strong conference.
All right, we talked about this before, and we got called out by Matt Stanton, a good fan of the show and a very funny comedian. And if you have a chance to go see Matt Stanton, go see him. He said the AAC
Oh, so
was
that
going
means
to
he knows basketball? Cool.
He said the AAC would get 3 bids this year. Memphis is now in jeopardy of falling out of one of those bids. UC, after this loss, could potentially lose.
You mean
that.
Precious isn't carrying them still?
But there you go. ESPN, according to their bracketology, the American has 3 bids.
Well, that's before tonight.
Before tonight.
I think there was another upset in the American. Who are the 3 though right now? Memphis.
It was Memphis,
UC.
UC. I think Houston was. Wichita State is another one that I always forget is in the American, and that's a team that always ends up being a
Dude,
tournament
they've
caliber
fallen
team.
off though, man. Remember they used to be the hotness.
They
and
were
now
the-
it's just kind of like,
And everybody was like, "Oh, the Shockers! That's my favorite team because the Shockers."
You know what? Whatever. Screw all those people. I had the Shockers back in middle school, man. I knew about it way back when.
Houston is the
Late to
one
the
that's
party.
getting all of the.
So it's
love.
Houston, Wichita State, and UC.
Those are the
Houston,
3
Wichita
teams, so
State,
they're not even
UC.
projecting Memphis at this point.
Wow.
Man, how pissed is Penny? You had like the best player
You
in
had the
college basketball.
consensus overall number 1.
Whoa. Let's not say consensus number 1, okay? Because I believe there's going to be a ball in the draft, okay? So let's not say consensus number 1 overall.
Consensus number 1 overall.
Wait,
if
the
Lo-
last Ball brother is finally gonna get
Yeah, he's coming back
not
from Australia, baby.
drafted?
He's coming back from Australia. No, he played his way into like they're legitimately talking about him being potentially top 3 pick.
Look, I haven't heard Stephen A. say that at all, so it's
They are
clearly
saying-
not true.
That's because LeVar isn't talking anymore.
Yeah, LeVar's just like, yeah, I ain't saying anything. But they are saying he is the best ball brother.
Where's the... Wait, LeVar's the oldest.
LeVar's
the dad.
Oh,
Lonzo is the oldest son that's playing in the NBA right now.
yeah.
LaMelo was the one, or I mean,
Not LaMelo.
LiAngelo. LiAngelo was the one that didn't. Jello was the one that didn't make it, and then LaMelo's in Australia.
Why do they all have to be L's? Like, couldn't
I
you have
mean-
made this a little bit easier on all of us?
You just go Lonzo, Jello, Melo.
I do like Jello. I will say that.
Can we do that hockey real quick before the
You
end
wanna
of the
do that
show?
hockey?
Come on, Joe. Let's do that hockey real fast.
No,
Real fast. Come on, Joe. We just want to do the hockey real fast. Because Drew brought up something at the beginning of the show, and I was like, oh, put a pin in that one because we got to talk about that one. Let's do that hockey real fast. Come on. What did you say? What did you say at the beginning of the show that I forgot already what you had talked about? But I was like, oh, that's a thing we have to say. We have to talk about that.
Yeah, I honestly don't remember either. I want to say it was the
Number of
Nickelodeon
games?
weekend.
No,
Oh,
it wasn't
yeah,
number of
yeah. No,
games.
well-
I didn't care about that. Who cares? They play 4 games. Who cares? Whatever. You said something
Ooh,
about the
Wizards
Cyclones that, oh, man, this is going to drive me
Oh,
crazy.
no, we were talking about how the mascots and whatnot knocked down the beer mids.
No, it was at the beginning of this show, and I was like, wow, put a pin in that. We got to talk about that later.
Man, someone should have wrote
This was
wrote
like
that down.
less than 45 minutes ago. There was something that you said that I was like, dude, this is amazing. This is something we have to talk about when it comes to doing that hockey. And God.
And that's been that hockey.
Doing that hockey.
This is going to drive me crazy.
I was gonna say this is not gonna be okay. We're gonna have to figure this out,
I'm
man.
going to have an aneurysm trying to figure out what this was.
Hold on, let's look at these high
Man.
quality notes we take.
Yeah, go back through your notes because this was something that you came in hot with. You were like, oh, ugh.
But it wasn't them having to play 4 games in like 4 days.
No. Was
That
it
was-
even? It may not even have been
I don't
Cyclones.
think it was
I may be
Cyclones.
thinking of
I
something
think you're
else in
projecting.
Cincinnati.
Because I don't think it was that.
This has been
I for sure was ready to yell about FC, but I got that out of my system.
this has been Craft Fruit Sports Cincinnati
I'll still
style.
kick their front office in the
What
nuts if
a
I ever see them.
train wreck of a show this has been, but it's been a damn good one. I had fun on this one.
Oh yeah.
As we mentioned, this will be our last kind of weekly Cincinnati style show. We'll pop in every once in a while with some big events and do some Cincinnati style drop-ins for you guys. But be sure to follow the show so that you can catch up on our weekly show going down every Wednesday night on 12 Ounce Sports and on Facebook Live. So go click like on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Crafty Sports. Subscribe on YouTube. Be sure to follow and rate, review, share it out with your friends. And on every podcast app you can get, subscribe, rate, and review. It helps the show more than you know. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Cheers, everybody.
Peace out.
Goodbye.